Would you guys believe me if I told you that one of the most feared midfielders in world football was told by doctors that he could actually go blind if he kept playing the sport he loved? Not lose a step, not lose his pace, lose his actual eyesight. And instead of walking away, he strapped on a pair of tinted goggles and kept absolutely terrorizing people in midfield for another decade. When most people picture Edgar Davids, they picture the dreadlocks, the wraparound shades, and one of the most aggressive, in-your-face midfielders football has ever produced. They call him the Pitbull for a reason. But little do y'all know, those iconic goggles weren't a fashion statement. They were the result of a diagnosis that could have ended his entire career. In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys exactly how Edgar Davids faced down a football player's absolute worst nightmare and somehow turned it into the most iconic look the sport has ever seen. Edgar Steven Davids was born on March 13, 1973 in Paramaribo, Suriname, before moving to Amsterdam as a kid. He joined Ajax's academy at 12, and by 18 he was already in the first team, coming up through arguably the greatest academy generation Ajax has ever produced, alongside names like Patrick Kluivert, Clarence Seedorf, and the De Boer brothers. He played with such relentless, non-stop aggression that manager Louis van Gaal gave him the nickname that would follow him for life, the Pitbull. In 1994-95, Davids was a key piece as Ajax beat AC Milan to lift the Champions League. A year later, they reached the final again against Juventus, and this time it went to penalties. Davids stepped up first for Ajax. He missed. Juventus won the trophy. Within a year, he'd be wearing that exact same Juventus shirt himself. But first, a rough patch. In 1996, he signed for AC Milan, and it did not go well. An early injury, a lost season, clashes with management. By early 1998, Milan moved him on to Juventus. At Juventus, everything clicked. He formed a midfield with Didier Deschamps and Zinedine Zidane, still talked about as one of the most feared trios in European football. Zidane doing the magic, Deschamps and Davids doing the dirty work that let him do it. Juventus won Serie A in his first full season, and Davids became a fixture in Turin. And then, in 1999, everything almost fell apart. Davids sustained damage to the optic nerve in his eye, and it developed into open-angle glaucoma, a disease that slowly builds pressure inside the eye and can permanently destroy your vision. For a footballer whose entire career depends on split-second vision, this is about as scary a diagnosis as it gets. Davids has said it was a massive blow, that for a moment he genuinely thought he might have to retire. Surgery was necessary just to try and save his sight, and even after it, any direct blow to the eye, an elbow, a header, or a collision, could undo everything. Most people in that position would take the money and walk away. Instead, Davids and his medical team came up with wraparound protective goggles to shield his eyes from contact and floodlight glare. He needed special permission from FIFA just to wear them. At first, they fogged up constantly, and he's admitted it took real time adjusting to 90 minutes behind a foggy visor. But he adjusted, and what started as a medical necessity became the single most recognizable image in football. Tinted oranje-colored shades wrapped around a guy who was already terrifying to play against, now looking even more intimidating doing it. Now here's the detail most people leave out because it's not all pure redemption. In 2001, Davids tested positive for the banned steroid nandrolone during a Serie A match. He was initially facing a suspension that could have cost him the 2002 World Cup. He fought the ruling, arguing medication tied to his glaucoma treatment caused the abnormal readings, and on appeal, his ban got reduced to 4 months. It's a messy footnote in the middle of an inspiring comeback, and it's worth being honest about instead of pretending the road back was spotless. Despite everything, Davids kept performing, helping Juventus reach 2 more Champions League finals in 1998 and 2003, though they came up short both times. After 7 seasons and over 200 appearances in Turin, he left in 2004, and his career turned into a genuine world tour, a loan at Barcelona, a spell at Inter where he clashed with Roberto Mancini but still won a Coppa Italia, a stint at Tottenham, and a return to Ajax in 2007, where he scored the winning penalty in a Dutch Cup final, the same guy who once missed the biggest penalty of his life in a Champions League final, converting the winning one back at the club where it all started. On the international stage, Davids represented the Netherlands for over a decade, helping them to a World Cup semi-final in 1998 and a Euro 2000 semi-final on home soil. In 2004, Pelé himself named Davids one of the greatest living footballers in the world for the FIFA 100 list. And then, in one of the most bizarre career endings you'll ever see, Davids spent his twilight years at Crystal Palace before becoming player-manager of Barnet down in England's 5th tier, lining up in his late 30s wearing the number 1 shirt just because he wanted it. He finally retired in 2014, closing out a career that started with a missed penalty in a Champions League final as a teenager and ended with him literally running his own football club over 20 years later.